excited. I know it's a weird day. I know it's a weird day. Today's kind of that anniversary day that, you know, the world kind of shut down a year ago on this day. So if you feel wonky, you feel weird, like your energy's kind of weird or off. There's also a new moon this weekend. Don't act like you don't believe in new moons. If you don't, Amber Timor, I know you act like you don't. It's true. Energy's energy. Everything's energy. So if you're feeling a little bit off or like just weird or wonky, or you don't know why, or you're like me and like wanted to just cry last night and you're just not sure why, it's all good. Just go get in the shower, cry, come out of it. You'll feel better. Give yourself some grace. This has been the weirdest year on history. And I think that it's fitting that it's the year anniversary. And we're going to kick off our football season tomorrow on March. What is tomorrow? The 13th, as one does. I mean, that's what you do, right? You kick off your football season on March 13th. So if you're feeling weird, wonky, energy low, like all the things, it's okay. Let that move through you. It's okay. It's okay. I feel you. I get it. We're going to take some action today. I've got kind of 2 sections, and it's not going to be super fancy. We're not going to dance around like crazy people all the time. We're going to get some work done. We're going to have some fun doing it. And I hope that what we work on today will be stuff that you always want to work on, but never really allot the time for. So the first half is going to be Instagram stuff, and the second half is just going to be digging into inviting. So if you are ready to rock and roll. People are already putting questions in the chat. Okay, I can't get there yet. Give me a minute. I got to share my screen. Yes or no? Can we see this? Also, I have to reopen the chat because it always goes away when I share my screen. Yes, we can see it. Okay, awesome, awesome, awesome. I'll put the chat kind of down here where I can see it. Okay, I thought that this quote was just really appropriate for today. The dark does not destroy the light, it defines it. It's been a heck of a year. We've marked the year anniversary. We're moving towards spring and summer, and there is hope, there is light, and not only is there hope and light, but we get to bring that every day. So again, just give yourself some grace if you're feeling weird today, and do the work that we're going to do today. And also give yourself a minute if you need to, just take a hot bath tonight. It's all good. Whatever you need to do to take care of you today will then serve the people that you're also hoping to take care of. So today we're going to work on Instagram work. We're going to work on inviting. And if you hop on late, you know what to do. If someone hops on late and we see in the chat that they're like, what are we doing? I hopped on late. Then it's everyone else's responsibility to say, you know what to do, girl, connect, invite, and follow up. All right. We empower people to take control of their businesses. So last week, I understand that we did a little Shakeology stuff. Also, let me make sure that this view is just a single page. Last week we talked, Trina, I think, talked you through kind of writing a Shakeology post. I know this because I saw a bunch of them on my feed and I loved it. It was amazing. So this week, let's choose another product that you use on the regular and post about that, because we are much more than a challenge pack business. There's more to us than that, as evidenced by the different workouts that people are doing. I'm going to stop the share for a moment. Tell me in the chat, what is another product? And you can't say Energize. You can't say Energize because of course you're using that. What is another product aside from Shakeology and Energize that you use daily? Oh, look at that. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yes. Collagen. Yes. Yes. Speech bars. Okay. Let me add part 2 of this question. On average, during a week, 7 days, how often do you talk about that product? Like, not just show that you're using it, but how often do you talk about it? I mean, there are products that we use daily that we just don't talk about, right? They're just like sort of part of what we do. For me, it's the Fiber Boost. Daily, I put it in my shake. Rarely do I talk about it. I don't know why. I talk about Energize, collagen, other things, and I don't talk about Fiber Boost. So that being said, and because we are more than a challenge pack company, because we have so many amazing products that can serve people in so many ways, you're going to choose one of those products that you rarely talk about, and we're going to spend the first little bit crafting a post about that product. Now, here's what I want you to do as well. Let's say it's Fiber Boost that you choose, or let's say it's collagen that you choose. I want you to hit up Google and do a little research on it so you can gather some verbiage. And it's not just, I love this product. No, we want some data, some research, some verbiage, and then how you use it and why. It's got to get personal again. So I'm going to give you a few minutes to craft that post, and then we'll talk about your picture. But task number 1 is on your Word doc, on your Google Doc, on your Notes app, in your drafts, wherever you want to type it. I want you typing out a post of that other product. Do a little research on it. So you're going to go to Google, type in whatever, find some verbiage, and then talk about how and why you use it. Cool? Questions on that? Okay, let's get to work. It's not sexy, y'all, but it works. So let's get to work. Okay, just about 2 more minutes, and then we're going to talk about your picture, and then we're going to move on to the next Instagram task. Okay, before we talk about the picture, does anyone want to share their post that they wrote in the chat? Does anyone want to share what they wrote? Question: when we do a post about a product, are we using the actual name? Cassandra, let me tell you my take on that. You know how when you have children, at least when I had children, I suppose you could call their anatomical parts by another name, but then they have to learn another name for their anatomical parts. So why not just call them what they are? Energize is energize. If you want to call it pre-workout, I think that's awesome. Coming up with another label for it, I think doesn't sound like the CEO of a multi-million-dollar company, which is what you are, my opinion. I will call Shakeology a superfood shake. I will call Energize pre-workout, but most of the time I say, make your Energize. And if people are like, what's Energize? I can say, that's my pre-workout shake. That's up to you. It really is. Remember, there are as many ways to work the business as there are coaches in the network. So you do what feels comfortable and authentic to who you are. I think calling it by another name, to me, creates confusion. Just like calling an anatomical part by another name creates confusion. Then we got to learn a whole nother name. That's how I parented. That's how I built my business. You do what feels right to you. What feels right to you. Okay. Let's talk. Any questions? Anyone want to share their chat or in the chat? Anything that you want? Also, Erica, wherever I don't know where you are on here. I saw your question earlier. Girl, give yourself some grace. You're gonna be fine. Whatever you can do is fine. And I will tell you that everything about this business, Erica asked, how do you kind of maneuver through life right now if you've had challenging situations? I will tell you from experience, everything about this business makes everything else in your life better able to handle. Period. I'll fight you on that if you want to tell me it doesn't. Yes, it does. Moving your body makes you better. Fueling your body makes you better. Reading personal development makes you better. Leaning into your community makes you better. Period. So no matter what happens in your life, those 4 components will make you better. Stepping away from your business and stepping away from this stuff that makes you better will make the challenging situation in your life that much harder. So do what you can do for your business, but show up to the components of it for you that will make you better. Oh, look, we're sharing in the chat. Awesome, 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 awesome. Okay. I'm going to put up the share screen again real quick. Let's talk about pictures. Y'all don't please slap up pictures haphazardly. Please get into the light. Do you see my light that I have? This would be a great place to take a picture. What if I did this? That's a crap place to take a picture, isn't it? Okay, so get some light, and it makes all the difference in the world when you're taking your picture. Okay, get your light and get some pictures. Sorry, I got to turn my light back up. Okay, you got to show up on your Instagram every single day. In fact, we had some Instagram training last night with Brock Johnson, the son of Shalene Johnson. He is an Instagram expert, and I'm going to share a little bit of what he talked about, which is his content. So please go follow him. Please go follow him. But we talked a little bit about pictures. We talked about hashtags. I'm going to share some of that content with you. And he talked about, we have to show up every day. Now, back in the day when I started my business, we had to post 3 or 4 times a day. I don't know that you have to do that, but the more often you show up, the more often you show up to serve people, the more opportunities you have to serve people. If you're only posting on your feed a couple times a week, you are losing opportunity to serve people. You've got to show up. Thus the idea of talking about another product. And you saw in the chat that not only was there hydrate and collagen and beach bars and greens and all the things, you probably use all those things too. So what if once a week for the next 5 weeks, one of your days, one of your posts for your week was about one of those products that you don't talk about very often? And then what if after 5 or 6 weeks, you just went back and started all over again? Because people have forgotten that you talked about it. So last week you talked about Shakeology. What if you went Shakeology, Fiber Boost, Recover, Hydrate, Beach Bars, Greens, Energize? Okay, 7 posts. And then on week 8, you went back to Shakeology. You started the whole rotation all over again. They will have forgotten what you posted 7 weeks ago and you started all over again. And you have a post every single Wednesday for the next 8 weeks talking about a product. Something to consider. Something to consider. So that way we can't ever go, I don't know what to post. Well, you do if you dig in and think about it. So again, good pictures. Moving on to hashtags. So this is part 3 of our little Instagram work that we're doing today. Brock recommended to us last night. Again, go follow him. His content is so valuable with regard to hashtags. Highly recommend that you join Insta Club Hub if you haven't done that. And one of the pieces that we talked about last night on this special social media training that we did was the use of hashtags. We didn't go into it too depth, so this is very surface, but this will also help you come up with some of your hashtags. This is one of those activities that coaches say, I never have time for that. Well, we're going to have time for it. We're going to have time for it right now. So 28 hashtags, generally hashtags with a 20,000 to 500,000 post. That's according to Brock, who is an expert. Research your hashtags and assess the content already being posted with that hashtag, because you want to make sure that you're posting something that not only can stand out, but also kind of goes along with that hashtag. So our second task now is we're going to create some lists of hashtags. I keep these in my notes app on my computer and on my phone. And I would suggest making 2 or 3 lists of hashtags. So maybe you've got fitness hashtags, maybe you got parenting hashtags, maybe you have business hashtags. And then when you post something, you can simply go and reuse those hashtags. I have heard from Instagram experts that using the same hashtags over and over again isn't always as effective. So having some different lists. For example, if I went to Disney, I'd have a whole Disney list of hashtags. So what we're going to do now is that thing that people always want to do and they never have time. We're going to create some lists of hashtags for your posts. And I'm going to stop this share for a second. And I'm going to show you. No, I don't want to write something. Hang on. Let me find it. Okay. Let me share my screen again. And I'm going to show you where I keep mine. And I have one list right now that I play around with. Here we go. Okay, so this is my list of hashtags. I keep them in my notes. So what I'll do is copy paste this. And then when I get over into the comment section where I'm putting my hashtags, I will mess around with these and change them up. So this is kind of where I start and then I play with them. I keep them in my notes. So that's what we're going to do right now is we're going to create at least one list, if not more, of hashtags. Any questions about that before we go any further? Any questions about that? Yeah, he said 30, but he suggested 28. And so since he's the expert, we're going with 28. If you want to do 30, go ahead. Go ahead. It's just he suggested 28. So 28 keeps you below the radar. Exactly. I don't schedule posts. So, okay, let's go back to hashtags. We've moved on from the other post. We're now into hashtags. Focus. And let's create those hashtags. So think of things that you say all the time. Think of who's your demographic, who's your niche, and let's start making those lists because I'm going to ask you for them in a minute. I want them in your notes app or in your drafts app. Okay, go. How many people follow the hashtag? Hang on. Let's see what I can. Okay, so go to search. And I'm going to type in one of the hashtags that I use is morning routine. Okay, so you guys see this? You see at the top where it says morning routine and it's got the hashtag beside it. That's what I'm going to click on. And it has 2 million posts with the hashtag morning routine. That means the chances of me getting featured on Explorer page not really great with morning routine. However, watch, look right below it. Look right below it. Morning routines with an S. Morning routines with an S only has 116,000. So that means that's a good one for me to use. All they did was add an S, right? That's why you check that hashtag. Don't just hashtag it because you think it's awesome hashtag. And please, for the love of everything, don't hashtag Beachbody coach, any of that. Those would be people that are already Beachbody coaches. You're looking for people who are not. You're looking for people who are not. So who's your demographic? Who are you talking to? Like someone that I would put in mind would maybe be empty nester or fit over 40 or things like that. Who's your demo? Heather Mills, I hope that answered your question. And if you have any, like, you're like, I just don't even know what to do for hashtag, ask the questions so we can help you. That's why I wanted to do something like this. This is the thing that people say they don't have time to do and that we need to do. Okay, I'll give you an example. I want to put something about eco-friendly, sustainable living. I put in sustainable living. It was like 11 million posts. Okay, that I'm never going to get seen. But if I type in sustainable life, it's 227,000. Okay, that's the one I want to use then. Mm-hmm. You can, at least you can follow it if you want. The range that you want to be, hold on, I will share that screen again for you. The range is between 20,000 and 500,000. Between 20,000 and 500,000 is what Brock recommended to be looking for. So who's your niche? Who are you trying to attract? And can I tell you guys something? I started using empty nesters when all my girls went to school. You remember that time when everyone actually left and went to school and they weren't home like the entire year? Okay, so that one time I started using the hashtag empty nesters. And then when I look on Instagram, like they're not really people that I would want on my team. So that's why you have to vet it a little bit. Like I might be an empty nester and so might they, but I'm kind of like the J-Lo kind of empty nester, you know, in my head I am, and maybe they might not be. So so vet that hashtag that it's going to actually be a magnet for the people that you want on your team. Like, I don't want to live with my husband in a camper and travel the world. I'm just saying, vet it. See, to each their own. Each their own. I know, Michelle, that's hard. I agree with that. That it is hard sometimes to find the people when you don't match the people in your age group. But rather than trying to find the age group, and because I focused on that for too long too, you're looking for me. I'm looking for energy. I don't really care how old you are. I care that your energy aligns with mine. So can some of you drop a few of your hashtags that you use in the chat? Do that. And then we're going to move on to the next piece. I just want energy. I'm just thinking of close quarters like that with my husband for a really long time. Like we've been doing that. So I would not want to do that like in a moving vehicle. I might throw him out. So, yeah, finish. And then, so Tara, did you check those to see if, vegan fit? I bet that's a good one. Did you check to see how those are they in those age ranges? Because I've never seen vegan fit. I bet that's a good one. But that's a really good one. Yeah. Yeah, good. How many did it have, Tara? I'm so interested in that because that seems like a really good one. That's what Brock suggested, up to 500,000. Yeah, gluten-free mama. I saw one that was gluten-free bloggers. So awesome. Good stuff, you guys. Put those in your notes. Make sure you've got a couple lists of hashtags. That's good. Okay. Next. Shareable content. This is something else that Brock talked about last night. So as he talked about sharing more than one time on your feed a day, show of hands in the chat. How many of you struggle, or you tell yourself you struggle, you've created the struggle in your mind to post on your feed every single day? Is it challenging for you to post on your feed, not in your stories, on your feed every single day? For some people, it's like awesome. And for some people, I have a really hard time doing it. It's just personal to each person. But I will tell you, when I started this business in 2008, we were posting 3 to 5 times a day on Facebook, 3 to 5 times a day. Then we got away from it. Now we're back to it. And when you think about it in terms of serving your audience, that's what you're doing. You're showing up to serve your audience every time. So if you're not serving up to serve your audience, if you're not showing up more, no, you're not boring. You're not boring. And if you think you're boring, then you're just uninspired. And quite frankly, everyone's life is the same right now. So that you've got to let that go. Everyone's life is the same right now. And Brock always says, documentation over creation. Unless you're Beyonce, your life probably looks like everybody else's, and you're documenting it. And you're showing how all these products and programs and everything exist in your life. Well, now, if we're going to build a business, because that's what we're trying to do, serve more people, change more lives, we also have to dig into social media and what those rules are right now. And those rules are posting more than one time a day, serving our audience with an opportunity to have educational, informational, motivational, whatever kind of information more than one time a day. That might be challenging to come up with on our own. Good thing for us that there's something called Repost. Do you have the Repost app? Yes or no? The Repost app. If you are typing no, awesome. Go to your app store and get it. Go to your app store and get it. It says Reposter. It looks like this little square. Looks like that. It's the top one. So let's not make it hard. Don't make it harder than it has to be. Right there, Reposter. So it will direct you what to do. When you open that app, it will tell you what to do. But what we're going to do for the next 5-ish minutes is we are going to find a collection of posts that you are going to repost. And you're simply going to create a collection in Instagram on them. So some of my favorite places, and when you go to these places, these sites, these feeds, they'll also help you find others that you might find. One of my favorites is this, Thrive. It's called Thrive Global. Thrive Global. The reason why I love Thrive Global is they do a ton of quotes and just cool stuff. Cool stuff. Okay, so if I find one that I like, which happens to be this top one, I'm going to click that little button right there and we'll save it. And it's going to ask me if I want to save to a collection. I'm going to say yes. And I'm going to title this. I'm going to start a new collection. I'm going to title this Shareable, just like I'm directing you to on this slide. I'm going to title that Shareable. And then as I look for more content like that, so I've just titled it Shareable. As I look for more content like that, I now have a collection where I can share that. So let's say I go to Thrive. I really like their content. I go see who Thrive is following. Do they have anything that I like? Let me look at what they have. And I might find other really cool content from other places. So I start with one and then I go down the rabbit hole a little bit. Like here's one called Bright Vibes. It was on Thrive. It's called Bright Vibes. Quotes. I love that stuff. So I'm going to find some on here that I share and I'm going to save them to my collection. Then when it comes time to repost them, because if I repost, I don't have to create, I'm going to use that reposting app. Cool? Okay, we're going to take 5 minutes and we're going to do that. The reposting app is called Reposter. I post usually 2 times a day, morning and night. It should be the top one. Reposter. Says, hold on, sorry. Reposter looks just like that. Should be the very top one when you go to the App Store. At least it was for me. It was the top one. Repost. Repost for Instagram when you type in, and then it comes up as the top one. So we're going to take 5 minutes. We're going to come up with a collection. Any questions on that? Any question on how to make a collection or how to find stuff? Again, this is one of those things where you're like, I wish I had time for that. You do right now. Try to find 10. Yes. I just showed you how to create. I just showed you how to create a collection. I just showed you how to create a collection. Come on, y'all. Okay, I can't do it again because I just did it. So I'm going to. Let's see if I can show you my collections. Okay, we'll start again. I'll create a new collection. Here I go. Ready? Thrive. That's where I almost always start. I go to Thrive Instagram feed. I go to Thrive. I like this first one. I click it. I hit that little, what is that, a ribbon? I hit that little ribbon right there. When you hit that little ribbon, it's going to come right across here with words that say save to a collection. You're going to click that. When you do, you'll name your collection Shareable, and it'll go right into your collection. And then from then on, that's just what you do with all the others. And we'll talk about how we get it to repost in a minute. So go find we will talk about the repost in a minute, but go find your 10 or so right now. Y'all, it's voice lesson time. Do you hear that? Let me mute. Think of your favorite authors or, favorite thought leaders. Does Marie Forleo have a good post that you might want to share? Just, think about that kind of stuff. Like what makes a good share? It's usually a quote or something that other people will relate to, and then they'll share too. So think about your favorite authors, your favorite speakers, anything, nutritionists, all of it. Two questions I'll answer in just a bit. Okay, I'm going to answer the repost one. When you have the repost app and you click it, it's going to tell you what to do. So, you'll launch your Instagram, you'll go to your collections, you'll find it, it'll tell you what to do. Or if you already have the link, so when you go to anything, this is a pretty house. When you go to any post, right up here, these little three dots, if you click those, you can copy the link and you'll drop that in the repost app. And then you'll repost to Instagram right from there. It'll walk you through it. I promise. Don't make it harder than it has to be. Literally, this is not geometry. Like geometry, calculus, that's hard. Like this really isn't that hard. It's just maybe new. So no, repost is, I didn't pay $30 for mine. You might have, if you did the professional, but no, it's not $30. So you'll go to, and then copy link and you can drop it in there. And I'm sure there are a myriad of reposts. The one that I was using that I'm showing you is Reposter. So if there's another one, just find one that works for you, and know that every Instagram post has those three dots. That's where you copy the link. And when you go to repost, it tells you exactly what to do. So when you go to Reposter, you can say, insert link, and you'd click that and put that little link right there. And then it would share to your feed. And the other question that someone said was, do you keep it on your feed? Yeah, it depends. It depends on the contents. But the beautiful thing about the Reposter app is it gives the original creator credit. And that's what we want to do. Because we learned that not doing that would be plagiarizing. And we learned that in like middle school. So we don't want to do that now on social media. We want to make sure that we're giving them credit. And you can tag them too and all the things. Any questions on that before we move on? No, I don't have any answer to that, Megan. Keep it on, not keep it on. It's really whatever you want to do. Maybe if it feels like it looks too busy on your feed or it doesn't apply anymore, whatever works. Okay, so far, we've got a post about a product. We've got hashtags. And we've got content to reshare. So for the next 10 days, you have something you can share either in the morning or at night, already made, already done, because you can reshare stuff. So we've done 3 Instagram today. Now, I found this in I get the success email every week, Friday, from Success Magazine. And this was a big survey they did of employees and workplaces and what one trait is most important for a person leading you. And here's where you guys look at this, take this in, because what women will do over and over again in this business, and it will say, well, I don't know everything there is to know, so I can't build a business. Look where that is on this list. And look what number 1 is: leading by example. By more than 10%, knowledge of the business is below it. People don't care how much you know. They want to know that you're doing what you're asking them to do. Leading by example, number 1. Leading by example, most important trait for a person who is leading you. And remember, that's what you're doing. You're leading people down a path of health and wellness. You're lighting the way for them and navigating that for them. So for the next 15 minutes until we're done, that's what you're going to do. You're going to lead by example. You're going to invite people to join your team or your group, whatever you're most comfortable with. I would suggest your team, and lead by example. I have the way that will help you lead your healthiest life. Let me invite you to it. You're going to lead by example. The next time you get in your head about having to know everything there is to know about the business, remember this survey. It's number 3. It's number 3. People want to join someone who's going somewhere and who's leading by example. So for the next 15 minutes, that's what you're doing. I'd hope to have a little bit longer, but for the next 15, we're diving into the one activity that will change your business that you need to be doing every day, and that's inviting. Whether that's Facebook or Instagram, you do what works for you. Could even be follow-ups. But for the next 15, it's all inviting. Questions? Leading by example. That's what we're doing. Cool. Rakia, do you see that I shared the slides right up in the chat? Also, I don't know why my video is off. Did I turn my video off?
It just wouldn't work on my phone, so I switched over to my laptop Zoom, so then I can't see the previous chat.
Yeah, it probably, just when you get over to your laptop, you'll have to get them or save the chat. Maybe that'll do it. Okay, we've just got a couple more minutes. So before we, sign off and you go off into the sunset for your weekend and all the things. Is there anything that I can answer on Instagram on hashtags on, not that I'm an expert. Is there anything that I can answer from what I shared today or point you in the direction of a resource or anything that you're not sure about? I think the main piece is we just have to we have to stop fighting some things. And I have to speak to myself on that too, because I don't really like reels. I'm not very funny, and all the best reels are funny and I'm not. So I have to stop fighting reels and figure those out as well. And we just have to figure some stuff out. You figured out your Shakeology recipe. You figured out how to pick up a 10-pound weight instead of a 5. So there are things around social media if we want to build a business using this free tool that we just have to figure out. So is there anything that I can answer? I do have a book recommendation too for all of you awesome people who stay till the end. Oh, wait, there's question. Yeah, I know. When did Brock mention you shouldn't use hashtags that have nothing to do with your picture for your post? Well, I would think that your hashtags, you're talking to your niche from what I understand. So most of my pictures and most of my messaging is talking to my niche anyway. So it's not that I'm really not posting anything that's not talking to that. So my hashtags have more to do with my niche than the actual picture. So even if I'm not talking about my morning routine, I'm likely hashtagging it so that if someone searches it, something that I posted about morning routine will come up. So I hope that helps. And then I've dropped a link in the chat that talks about how to use repost. And you know how I found that link? It's crazy. I went to Google and typed in how to use reposter. And there it was. I know, it's so crazy how that is. I do have a recommendation for you. And this is about, I'm just going to type the book name in the chat. It's called Sell It Like Sirhan. And it's by Ryan Sirhan. I'm listening to it on Audible right now. Context. He was the real estate guy on $1 Million Listing in New York City. I don't watch reality TV. So I randomly found him on YouTube, and then he had a book, and then he had another book, and he's a real estate mogul in New York City. And he's talking about how to sell in this particular book. Friends, you sell every day. So we share, we serve, we inspire, we motivate, we also sell. Just like you sell your kids on going to bed or taking a bath, or sell your spouse on watching the movie that you want to watch, what we sell every day. So I would love for us to get over the idea of selling being a bad word and actually to get better at it. Because if we can serve more people and change more lives. If you're looking for a book, I recommend that one. Sell It Like Sirhan. Yeah, he's on a TV show. And he has another one called Big Money Energy. That's his newest one. So if you're looking for some to add to your list, Sell It Like Sirhan is really good, really good. And the chapter I just finished listening to today was all about follow-up. That's all we do. So, okay, have an amazing weekend. Give yourself some grace today. And on this weekend, go after your goals, take a hot shower, work out, do all the things. Most importantly, take care of you so you can take care of others. Have a great weekend.